You are wrong about the Imperium of Mankind being fascist. It seems from the discourse on social media that there are two kinds of fans when it comes to the Imperium of Mankind of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. The first kind of fan enjoys the Imperium of Mankind as a grimdark future medieval regime engaged in a desperate yet perpetual war for the survival of the human race. We will name this gang of fans the chudhammer. The second class of fan loves to hate the Imperium of Mankind as a satire of fascism. This class of fan also labels almost everything fascism, from drinking milk to not being gay.
Oi.
So that is no great surprise. These fans we will refer to as the wokehammer, because they tend to be lefty, subversive types with weird pronouns and sexual fetishes. The chudhammer response to the wokehammer's claim of fascism is that no, the Imperium of Mankind is not fascist. Yes, it is a harsh, even dystopian regime, but fascism is a very specific thing, and the Imperium is not that very specific thing. They may also mention that it is loosely based on the Holy Roman Empire from real history, and also Frank Herbert's Dune series from fiction. The wokehammer take on the Imperium of Mankind is of course the cringiest and the least accurate, but it is my contention that the chudhammer are a little bit off in a subtle way too. The essence of the disagreement between the two camps comes down to the meaning attached to the word fascism. The wokehammer use the word extremely loosely, as I have already mentioned. Milk is fascism. Punctuality is fascism. Not claiming welfare is fascism. Freedom of speech, most weirdly, is fascism. And so on, and on, and on, and on, and on. If one will use that word that loosely, then of course the Imperium of Mankind will fit in that box, as does everything else in the universe. However, the chudhammer's defensive reaction is to be too narrow in their working definition of fascism. They will reference the ideology championed by the socialist politician Benito Mussolini. This fascism was only born in 1922 and arguably died in the ashes of World War II, only 2 decades later. Clearly, the Imperium of Mankind references a much larger sweep of history, including Caesarian Rome, the Byzantine Empire, Charlemagne, the Holy Roman Empire, the Russian Empire, and even, perhaps, the British Empire. So if you use fascism this narrowly, then of course the Imperium of Mankind is far too big to fit that tiny box. It is a defensive reaction because of course the wokehammer use fascism as a character assassination. The popular post-World War view promoted by boomers was that fascism lost the last World War, and so it has been proven by history to be bad. This is the one thing that both the subversive progressives and the conservative chudhammer agree on. So this is what makes the word fascist a useful verbal weapon for subversives to use on basic normie conservatives. This is where the chudhammer are in error. Mussolini's fascism was not the only or definitive fascism. It was not really his invention. He was only trying to revive older, more virile traditions than the current world order of liberalism, which arguably we still have. Fascism takes its name from the symbol of the fasces. The symbol of the fasces goes back to ancient Rome, but the concept that the symbol represents is as old as civilization and is pervasive amongst all the tribes of the world to this very day. The fasces represents nationalism and the concept of safety and strength in numbers. The symbol is an axe bound in a bundle of sticks. The axe represents power. The bundle of sticks represents a large number of individual people. So the symbol represents strength in numbers. E pluribus unum, Latin for from many to one, is the same concept. And you will find that it is also the motto for the world's most liberal and democratic nation, the United States of America. That is the real fascism, just ordinary nationalism or tribalism. Mussolini innovated very little. He added socialism to nationalism. That is all. By default, nationalism is about the defense of a tribe or nation from hostile rivals. It is not necessarily totalitarian and could be very libertarian internally. That is not to say that the totalitarian twist that the modern fascists, like Mussolini, put on ordinary nationalism is antithetical to the ancient fascism. Totalitarianism was not even Karl Marx's invention. Socialists of the more authoritarian bent were mostly imitating, in their own clumsy way, the big state reforms of Kaiser Frederick the Great. The Kaiser himself would be looking back to ancient Rome as an inspiration. The very title Kaiser is derived from the name Caesar, from ancient Rome. You see, it is not just the 40k universe that is grim and dark. Our own is too. War between the individuals and the tribes of Earth is universal, perpetual and eternal. National consciousness is a survival strategy because war is a numbers game. Usually, big tribes beat small ones. And so in this sense, the Imperium of Mankind is very much a normal regime compared to the regimes of our own history. And all of those regimes, insofar as they have been interested in national survival, have all been fascist. So in this respect, Chudhammer are not quite 100% on the money when they say the Imperium of Mankind is not fascist. And really, in the end of the day, we only say fascism is bad because they lost the war, and the boomers like to feel good about themselves by identifying with the winner. Well, I hope you have found this little commentary on the debate surrounding the Warhammer 40,000 universe interesting, and I invite you to check out my other videos on this channel, and you can also go into the comments and offer your own perspective, of course. I have been Solar Cross, and goodbye!